Yo, what's on your shirt?
Oh man, it's an old Iron Man shirt.
Okay.
The I love you 3000.
I could only see like a portion, and I was like, that looks like a nice clean image or something,
Yeah,
visual. Something.
it's a dope little shirt. Yeah, like
Dude, you know what is absolutely? I'm not even kidding you, Sui. Crazy. First shirt I put on today, the Infinity Gauntlet T-shirt I wore to Endgame.
Oh no shit.
I'm not even kidding you. But I was like, ooh, I left the slider open. I need a long sleeve.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, trying to get that fresh air in the apartment, man. It's been nice lately.
Yeah, we've been we definitely been leaving the windows open and stuff and uh shit, I mean, we balling every day, man. I got the kids out there. I taught them World, and they down the challenge every fucking second they get. They're like, yeah, Dad, let's get a game of World in real quick. I'm like, let's do it, baby.
Oh, you're schooling the kids on the court?
Man, we moved the hoop up to 10 feet because Channing's officially like next season he's
Yeah.
on 10 feet, and it was funny because as soon as we did that, Stevie started smoking everybody in World. He's sitting there just fucking.
Buckets.
I looked at him like that's all I had to do was raise the hoop up. Oh, well, let me intro us in and
All right,
you
I'll
got a
intro
drink?
us,
Do you need
and
to get a drink?
then I'll outro us.
There you go. Did you get us a drink? I know, right?
More Proficient Fans Sportless podcasts.
Yeah. Hey,
Coming to
everybody,
you live.
welcome to another episode of Proficient Fan. With me, I had with.
Wow. Clay Haggard.
Yeah, man. Clay. We kind of.
They know what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying.
You know I'm befuddled.
For all of you who are just tuning into episode 78, what he meant to say was.
I was gonna say. I was gonna give this big old intro for you, and then I got tongue tied, and I go, oh fuck it, and go back to the original. So, what whiskey are you working with today? Still, you got the bullet still?
I still got that. Yeah, that Winter Sweet bullet. I'll be honest, bro. I don't find myself drinking it unless we're podding. So like, it's lasted.
I still got Redemption, and I grabbed this Bernheim Original. It's I don't know. I saw it 7-year small batch, and I figured I'd give it a go. Sipping out, not too bad so far. It's got some nice hang time on the glass. What's that?
What small batch?
It's this Bernheim Originals. It's a 7-year age small batch. So wheat whiskey. So that's what kind of I was like, let me give this a go.
Okay.
Because most of the time they're like your corns and your rye and such. So, anyway, what's been going on, man? What have you been doing this past week since we haven't verbally spoke. We message each other via text message, Instagram all the time, but group chats and shit. But
yeah, man. I mean, just this work change. I'm grateful that we both work for a company who's willing to fight. You know what I mean? To make sure that we still have income. So just gonna have a little bit of a change. I'm gonna be working from home moving forward, at least as far as I know. So I don't know, man. I haven't heard from my new supervisor yet. I'm assuming weekday, so probably Monday I'll receive a call and I'll figure out when I train and all that kind of stuff until the world goes normal again, but I think we are going through something that will forever change how businesses operate, how we operate at a personal level in our own household. Yeah. I mean, this is like, at least as far as a global impact as COVID-19 has had, I feel like I personally haven't seen anything this extreme since 9/11. Like, that was the last thing I can remember that shook. That was a big deal for the United States, but that was still a world, I wouldn't say issue, but that's world news. Yep. And this is impacting the world. So, I had brief conversation with a coworker, and we talked about, what is work going to look like moving forward, even after this stuff hopefully starts to get wrapped up, hopefully sooner than later. But, how is this going to impact businesses? How's this going to impact airports? I mean, like day-to-day operation, like all that stuff, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been a little confused now. For those of you who had that may not be working right now. If you're not working, because I haven't been, and you know what I mean, like, because they shut down my location 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, wow, I'm like, this is the world hitting a reset button on everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, you fucking up. Boom.
Mm-hmm. That
So, yeah, like, and I was just like, I was just like, this is a great opportunity for, just you as a person, as an individual, because your whole life has changed. How do you want to see that life going forward? And I guess it's like an opportunity to really try to push yourself to make that life happen for yourself. That's kind of the way I've looked at it this entire time. A buddy of mine, we were talking last week, and one of the things that you have we have to find things that we're appreciative in a time like this. And he's just like, he and I both are just like, wow, we're getting a lot more time with our kids than we ever had before. And granted, there's a big uncertainty of what's happening, because unfortunately neither one of us are skilled labor, right? You know what I mean? Like, our hands are soft unless it's coming from the weight room. And YouTube's is getting a big forehead of clay there. You lean right in.
Yeah. Damn, my forehead's big on this webcam, bro.
My head is whoa. Fuck. I mean, so like we're finding joy in that, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's like this, oh fuck, what's getting ready to happen type thing. And they did do redeployments for our work, so that was really cool. I did not get a redeployment, and which I'm okay with, you know what I mean, because I'm still getting paid.
They're giving this is workload management. The vets are getting a game off.
Yeah, I'm
so
telling
that way
you,
you
man.
can freshen up.
Because I mean, like I looked at the in our group chat at work there, right? All the nice. Yeah. I started out very light, but because I didn't know if I didn't know how I was gonna jump in on this one. I was just like, do I jump out of this and jump back into the Redmington?
Oh!
Like hit you in the nuts.
Oh, there it is.
But
there,
no,
whiskey?
what I was saying was I in our group chat where everybody's like saying I didn't get it, I got something, and it was a lot of the veterans, man, that did not get anything.
Yeah, we realized that too.
And I was just like, all right, well, there's one guy that's not a vet, but I guarantee you, he probably negotiated his coming in at a higher rate than what the other people that aren't real veterans, like got some skin in the game for Verizon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens, and like I said, definitely feel blessed to be able to work for a company like you said earlier, that I'm still getting paid to do absolutely nothing. Now, I think, don't you get extra pay if you do get a deployment job?
So, I know you get the bonus 30% if you are working in the retail store, because it's considered hazard pay.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah. So
which I was luckily I did receive that since I went back.
Oh, nice.
And so that was kind of dope.
So I mean, like, and then there's just certainty that, at the end of the day, you still have a job, Yeah. That, I quickly was like, fuck, I didn't get anything. And I know probably, once again, there's a lot of people that are like, great, I get time to dick off and do nothing. But, having a family, so you do get a little concerned about that kind of stuff. So, but once again, it's also one of those times that it really allows you to sit back and say, what's your goal, going forward. So when business does ever get back to normal, and you get back to working, what direction do you want to take your life? So I hope everybody that listens to us is doing well in this time. It's for somebody that definitely has noticed how big this thing was from I feel like a very early standpoint in this all. I hope that all of our listeners are doing well and aren't suffering. So on that note,
before we get going, I'm gonna encourage everybody. If you don't see our YouTube channel, then you're not about to see these dope images on my webcam. But you already know we got this running.
That's it.
And then I want everybody to know right next to it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, boy. I got some I got my US Open flag over there. I got a picture of me and
Nice.
Justin over there too.
That's it.
Got to give my friends, got to give my followers, my listeners some love.
Yeah,
So,
I'm if you can tell everybody, I did turn my desk on the YouTube, so you're not seeing my heavy bag and
yeah, right. I feel like every video we've recorded since I've been in this apartment, I've had different angles. I don't know if I've been in this the same spot once.
Well, you're feeling your vibe. You got to feel your feng shui.
Yeah. Well, see, I think what's going to happen, depending on because I did, I'll be a customer service supervisor. That'll be my new position until further notice. They're going to have to ship me out equipment like computer and headsets and all that kind of crap. And so, I've been contemplating get your hand out that damn frame, son.
Nah, that's my wife.
That's even worse. She should know better.
I know. She's a child.
Oh my God. He goes, no, that's my wife.
Yeah.
What do you want, Tara?
She went back up already.
Oh my gosh. So what did she come down for?
Just do what the kids did.
Jesus. The Watkins household, everybody.
Children.
CB and 3 kids. And he gives one of them good spankings.
Right.
Like that. Anyways.
They don't cry.
I didn't mean to call Tara out like that.
Oh,
I just, knowing that there's 2 people in your household that I whooped ass in fantasy football, I just get worked up sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, I know you bring up fantasy football, and I'm actually in the middle of a draft right now.
What?
That dynasty draft, that dynasty league I'm in.
One you didn't invite me to, correct?
They didn't have anybody drop out.
Yeah, but you could have been like, no. I'm trying to make it more competitive.
I know.
Finish last, get them out, cut them.
Right, there you go. Every year we
so
get rid of
you're
last
literally
place.
drafting as we speak.
Yeah, it's 8 hours left draft round. Each time that's my pick to draft, I get 8 hours to make my decision.
8 hours?
8 hours.
So this is like a couple months of drafting.
No, man. 12. You gotta think about it. If I have somebody in queue, or if I have, if I know who I'm picking and nobody picked it by the time I come up, I go boom, boom. I didn't use all 8 hours. I used 15 minutes or something. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Okay.
So it could go a lot faster.
Yeah.
We're started this on Wednesday, I believe, or Tuesday.
I say that in my head every time I spell it. Every single time. Wednesday.
Yeah. And we are on the 5th round, 11th pick of that round.
Can I hear your team so far, please? In order.
So far, in order, here we go.
8 teams, correct?
No, this is a 12-team league.
12-team. What pick were you?
8.
Okay.
So I took Alvin Kamara with number 1. Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah, I said it right.
Really?
What's that?
You like Juju that high? I know we're thinking long term.
On the way back, yeah.
Guy,
Yeah. I definitely my whole team's young as fuck, dude.
Everyone was on the board, correct?
What's that?
All players. No one had any keepers.
No, everybody was on the list.
So bummed you didn't have them. Now, yeah, I don't care about your team anymore. Actually, new subject. Now I'm getting emotional. I'm getting angry.
I traded away my my 3rd round pick for a extra 5th round and 7th round, and then I also got in the 1st round I got number 8, I believe, pick for the rookie draft, and I got the number 1 draft pick in that one.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
See, my man's playing chess. It didn't work out for you in my league, but this league, I think this is going to pay dividends. Just don't take Des
Yeah.
Bryant. Just whatever you do,
No. Yeah.
do not
Right.
draft
Right.
Des Bryant.
No. So then and I was getting ready. The dude put in this draft or this trade in last second because I was getting ready to pick who he ended up drafting, Fournette. I was getting ready to get him, but he took him. But then I came back and took Tyler Lockett and then Todd Gurley.
You really love you some Tyler Lockett. I'm not mad at it. Russell, dude, if he can stay in Seattle, I think you got something special.
I mean,
Russ
I
is
just
a
feel
Seahawk
like
for life. I feel like Russ is a Seahawk for life. So like,
receiver there, man. Like I had to take him.
I'm not
And
saying
then
it was a
took
bad
Debo's-
pick. I'm just saying I've noticed that you tend to have Lockett in a lot of your leagues.
I do.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Which side note, I'm gonna criticize you on your Gurley pick. Do you really think he's gonna be able to? I'm assuming that you are confident that he is going to bounce back and become Todd Gurley of the old, and that you don't think
he's just in a good. I think he's in a great situation because the fact that they still have Julio Jones and what's that number 2 receiver that they got there right now? Ridley. Thank you.
See, the good thing about it being in Atlanta is this will be. I mean, when he was like, okay, even with LA being a young, high-powered offense, I feel like this is the first offense he's ever been a part of where he is truly not going to be relied on for offensive production. He is just another piece of the puzzle in Atlanta where I feel like he's always been the go-to in his entire career when he was with the Rams. Right. So I do think as far as Todd Gurley and his individual success this coming season, I think we are going to see – I think he will be healthy all year. I think he'll play all 16 games. He will not
see the end zone a lot.
He will not be putting up those record numbers like he was when he was, rookie year, sophomore year. Like he's not going to put those up because he's not going to touch the ball that much. But I think he'll be more efficient on offense.
I went for touchdowns on that one. I think he's going to see the end zone a lot, and for the remainder of time, because I think what is this year is this for Julio? I think this is year 9 for Julio.
Yeah, he's getting there.
So I mean, like, and Julio Jones, I feel like he's going to still be consistent. He's going to be like a Larry Fitzgerald, as far as longevity wise, I think, because he's always stayed healthy.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not cursing him by saying that, but I mean, he's been healthy, so he'll always be a reliable source to allow for Gurley to maybe slowly take over more carries, but also, running back ages really quick too. So, and then I took Debo, and now I don't have another pick until 7th round.
Wait, who'd you take after Gurley? Debo Samuel?
Took Debo. Yeah.
Is he still with San Francisco?
Yeah. So, and he's their number 1 receiver right now as well. So I was disappointed because I only took him because of the fact that I was getting ready to take Carson Wentz. Because I was looking to, snag a nice young quarterback right there.
Yeah.
But it's what it is. First, I tell you who I was my first draft pick, who I thought I was going to grab, was going to be Lamar Jackson, but he got taken the 6th pick.
He would have been nice for a dynasty league. He would have been real nice.
Because like right before, so Lamar Jackson was who I was wanting. Then right after that, the dude took Dalvin Cook, and then I jumped in with Alvin Kamara. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I feel like I've kind of been molding off of your Miami Dolphins and going for a young team.
Hey, if they don't want to be on your roster, bro, fuck them.
Well, that's all right.
Believe in the process.
Well, and also the way I'm looking at it especially with fantasy football, is I get these young guys, and I'm always drafting rookie classes every year. So therefore, I can hey, I got a young guy that's on my team that's killing in the game right now.
Yeah.
Let me get an extra draft pick here,
And you know what's nice? And I could be wrong, but I feel like since I've been, following the NFL fairly closely, I feel like more so as of recent, rookies have made bigger splashes in the NFL. Like, I don't
Yeah.
remember too often, like, even a decade ago, rookies coming into the league and being, like, #1 league leaders. You know what I mean? I could be wrong on
Right.
that, but, like, you know, I just don't remember much of it. You know, now you
Yeah.
see, like, these Lamar Jacksons and these, Ezekiel Elliott's, and they're just beasts.
Bosa.
Bosa. Dude, when you got
You
the best
know?
quarterbacks in the league saying that's the best defensive pass rusher they've played against, like,
Yeah.
that ain't no fluke. That don't happen on accident.
No.
So,
Yeah. Because I got the #1 draft pick, I'm trying to decide, especially as I'm drafting my team up here for the rookie draft. For the rookie draft, I got that #1. I'm like, ooh, do I go with what's
sorry,
that?
go ahead. I
No,
was gonna say,
I was
just so I know, this happens after the real NFL draft, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
Will
we
you
won't
guys
do this
wait
other
for all
till
of?
July.
So you'll wait for your actual draft to finish that you're doing,
Yeah.
and then as soon as that ends, he'll say, okay, rookie draft starts now.
Oh, the rookie draft starts after the real draft, and
Right.
he's planned it for about July.
Sure.
Because typically you have the NFL draft.
3
when
weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah. So
Trust me. I know these things.
yeah. So
I
like,
think it starts
but I
Thursday.
think he's kind of, I don't know why he does July. I know why he does July, to give us something to fucking do in the summertime, because he's not
preseason starts in August.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's also looks at July as like, we're in this dead area, and he's a big football guy. He doesn't like he likes baseball, but he's not. I'm gonna sit and watch a baseball game.
He ain't gonna sit and watch shit right now.
I know. So, guys, no format to this fucking conversation today, because of the fact
There's not
that
enough topics, guys. We're just spitballing.
we're just talking.
So hey, thanks for listening, because you just love CB and I.
Hey, you know what? So Joe Budden and the rest of those guys actually were consistently doing pods up until this past Wednesday, and I don't know what happened or the reason why they said they're not doing it anymore. But
they ain't dedicated.
I was just like,
they ain't dedicated.
I'm like, we got you there, Joe.
Somebody just asked me. I don't remember who I was talking to. Somebody just asked me, "Hey man, you still doing those podcasts?" And I was like, dude, episode 78 Sunday. He's like, good shit, man. Because they just assumed because of coronavirus that we were not going to record.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they know this, but we record from home. So right. We could probably record twice a week now. This would be a great time to do our side pod, our Star Wars pod or our Marvel pod. Because we don't got. I mean, we could watch movies from home, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Look at the light bulbs going off in this guy's head right now.
I'm like, well, because here's the thing, like, I was thinking that maybe like once a week we put out our own individual like MP3, just like of a story, you know what I mean, and we just upload that, so it gets more content out.
Crazy son of a bitch.
What's that?
Crazy son of a bitch. I like the way you think, CB.
So you just have Clay. This is Clay. CB's not there to fucking cut you off every 2 seconds you speak. You can get a clear thought out.
I just want you to know if my MP3 gets like 3 times more hits than yours, it's nothing personal, all right? Like, the fans know what they want. I don't want you getting in your head and be like, why does Clay have 400 views? Like, and
I'll be honest, I would never care about something like that.
Yeah, you would. You'd go put your shit on repeat. You'd try to get your view count up.
Wow.
He'd be like, Channing, give me your iPod. Play my fucking play my shit.
First off, I'd like to see my friend succeed. So,
Don't trying to make me look like the bad guy, man.
I'm just saying.
You must be feeling comfortable with that fantasy team to be putting me on the pedestal like this.
Here's what when you put out that NFL list this week, right?
Oh my
God. What's that?
We should talk about that.
You put out you put out that post on Facebook for best NFL. There you go. The favorite player. And I believe my headline was my friend and co-host. I put friend first, co-host second. I told you I want to see you succeed, baby.
Yeah, right.
So,
all right. So I'm the asshole. Okay, got it. Hey, there's got to be one, and I'm good at it. So fuck it. It is what it is.
I feel like we fight for it, but it's cool.
We should talk about that though.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. I'm pulling up your list right now because I did when I saw that. Because I was looking at, I was like, oh, what was yours? How was yours different than mine? Well, that's my list. Let's see. I was like, you put Chris Carter in. All right. So you put the Vikings, Randy Moss, and Adrian Peterson, and I had to disagree. I gave you Randy Moss, but Chris Carter, dude, that guy was a monster.
You know what's funny?
I also
that,
got to watch more of him.
When you did that in my head, I was like, CB's either gonna put Randy Moss or Chris Carter. I'm not kidding you. Like I knew you were gonna put one of those two.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Who'd you do for Bears? Urlacher. Solid favorite.
Apparently, I can't. Let me just go to my page. That makes sense, huh?
I'm on your Facebook where I have.
Oh, that's
have
yours. Oh, you did put Chris Carter / Randy Moss.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Now you put Urlacher, which I thought that was a solid choice.
There's
because I was thinking about your favorite players you got to watch.
Yes.
Because I know you like to do it that way when you do things.
I got your list up too, by the way, since you got mine up. So yeah, no, I put Urlacher. You have Walter Payton. Sweetness. Sweetness is one of the best running backs of all time. Him, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. It's one of those three. If anyone wants to argue with me, let's go to war, because there is no one. Well, you could make arguments for others, but in their career, what they did to the league and what they were able to accomplish, those three to me are the top three. No question.
I would. The only person, and I know that now we're starting to get a top 5 list. The only other person I would even have a conversation with you about making that top 3 notion, though, if you're sticking with the top 3, the only other person I might even let you throw in the ring with those 3 is going to be Emmitt Smith.
Actually, what's funny is I was thinking either Emmitt or it was going to be
Orenthal.
Bo Jackson. Now he did not. He did not play his entire career in the NFL. But my point being is, you say Bo Jackson, everyone already knows. Like, as Bo Jackson,
he would have beaten Jim Brown's records.
Probably,
hands down.
That's what I'm saying.
Had he been able to play,
I think that's why I said you could make an argument, because you said if he would have played just like Barry, if Barry would have played 15 years. You know what I mean? If Bo Jackson would have played a whole career in the NFL, would have been crazy, man. So now the other Bear that I actually thought about putting down on this was going to be Dick Butkus, just because that dude is a freaking monster. Now keep in mind that when we go through these lists, I have a lot of linebackers. I played linebacker. It's my favorite position. More important than the quarterback, more important than the running back, more important than wide receivers, like linebacker, man. That's my shit. Like field general, like you knock everybody's dick in the dirt, like it's the best position.
I remember when we would do scout, when we had to do scout defenses for the other team, I typically like to be a lineman. I was a 156-pound kid. I'm like, put me at the line. But then I'd also love to do the linebacker shit because the fact I was a defensive back. I didn't get to get in there and like bang and clang like you got to, and I loved hitting. So I'd jump in and do those positions. So I understand your love of your position that you got to play.
Yeah.
Then we go to Lions. You put Barry Sanders and no, you just put Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson.
Once again, Barry, legend. I never watched Barry. Barry was literally done before I even was 10 years old. So I couldn't even appreciate what I got to witness when Barry was in the league. But I saw a lot of Calvin Johnson. And once again, you already know my archetype of my favorite wide receiver build, a Julio Jones-esque guy. Calvin was just another level. With his size and speed and hands, that dude's a beast. And his nickname's Megatron.
I know.
Come on.
I had no problem with that being your favorite, and that's when I really knew that you were really going off of what you got to watch.
Well, I mean,
now,
dude, like the
and
thing is, it's post your all-time favorite player. Like that would be a gimmick if I just like went to Google and searched best line of all time. Oh, Barry Sanders, Barry Sanders. You know what I mean? Like
I had three favorites personally.
I had like 10 favorites for Miami, so it's good.
I had Barry Sanders, of course. He was. I mean, he was. I remember, and I think I probably told this story here before, but in 7th or 8th grade, I had to write a paper, and I was a parrot. Like you had to tell the story as an object. So like I did mine as I was Barry Sanders' shoes.
Shoes, yeah.
And so like and I basically just talked about how I was the reason why he was the shit. Then
for all of the listeners, because I know they liked this last time I did this. That is 2 times now CB has told the Barry Sanders shoes story. So everyone, if you've already heard it, please drop a like, please drop a comment in the comment box, and share our podcast. Thank you.
Like and
share it twice.
Here's what you can do.
Share it twice.
I was gonna say
for CB's twice story.
I was gonna say if we're gonna redo it, we gotta and put us on repeat. Put us on repeat. Like go to different devices and maybe set up different accounts. Everybody has more than one email account. Come on, help us out.
I think I think CB and I might have reached an all-time high. I think we were a little over 350 views on 2 pods ago.
Nice.
But that's just from Facebook. That's our Facebook reach. It's not including Spotify or Apple, iTunes or anything like that. So
I looked to see if we cracked the top 200 podcast on Spotify, and I did not see our names there. So help us out, guys. But I mean, you got to think about how many thousands upon thousands of people that are making pods. So, and then I had Herman Moore and Ndamukong Suh. Those were I thought about putting Calvin Johnson, but I was just like, and he was one of my favorites. I guess I should have maybe put his name on there because this is a favorites list, but I already had 3 names on there, and I thought I was getting carried away. I'm like, what am I gonna put? Fucking Chris Spielman? Fuck. Chris Spielman? Packers.
You put Brett Favre. Classic. The gunslinger. You can't be mad with that pick. If you think Packers, you should think Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Or Aaron Rodgers. Those are the only really 2 names that usually pop up, unless you're old and you go Bart Starr.
Or Lombardi, but I mean,
who?
What? Who's that guy?
Hashtag Proficient Fans.
Brett Favre, he was so much fun to watch, man. I remember there was this one game. There's many games that this happened, but he got hit, and I go, "Whoa, he's got a concussion," and he ends up taking them down. They score, right? Probably your favorite Packer of all time, but so anyways, they after the interview, he goes, "Yeah, I think he's like, I had a concussion." He's just like, I don't remember scoring that fucking touchdown. And I was just like, Jesus. And also, another reason why Brett Favre hits my list.
Best quarterback ever, Bart Favre.
Right. He was a combination. Was years ago, when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and they give you Vicodin, right? Well, I'm sitting there, and I was like, I got it done in the fall, and I was like, oh man, I want to drink a couple beers when I get home from work. That I was back when I was managing a Foot Locker up in Traverse City, and I was like, I want to drink some beers when I get home and watch football. I was like, but I don't want to take the Vicodin and get all fucked up, right? So I was like, well, that pain, if I make sure I do it like early, hopefully I can go home and not get stupid. A beer and a half later, I'm sitting there pouring beer down the fucking front of me because and I sat there and I remember I'm sitting there and I'm like, how did Brett Favre win a Super Bowl on beer and Vicodin? This doesn't make sense.
I couldn't feel any of the hits he took.
I was like, this guy is an animal. That makes my favorite Packer of all time. Yep. You have Kalamazoo's own
Greg Jennings.
Yeah, boy. I'm mad that I didn't put him down there. That was a great
Yeah,
selection there.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not a. I'll be honest. With the Lions and the NFC North, I tend not to root for any of the other NFC North teams, just out of like hometown
See,
spirit.
that's probably the reason why I didn't put him. I mean,
Yeah,
because like we're
and
getting carried away.
so, but I was like Greg Jennings. I go, being an alum from my high school, I got to meet Greg. I got a signed football right up there with a Bronco helmet with Greg. You know what I mean?
Dude,
So like,
he's an alum of your high school and your college.
and my college, Maroon Giants and Broncos, baby.
Somebody loves Greg Jennings.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, on to the next team. The Saints.
The Saints.
I put Drew Brees.
This is
even though I'll always be spiteful that Miami did not jump on the opportunity to sign Drew Brees, that doesn't take away the fact that Drew Brees is still amazing. I got no beef with Drew. He wanted to come to Miami. Our Nick Saban made the decision to sign Dante Culpepper.
right.
So yeah, Drew Brees by far, like, he's the man. I was also a big Joe Horn fan. I just didn't feel the need to put him in here because, like,
Joe Horn's nice.
Yeah. I don't even remember who you put.
Didn't you have Michael Thomas on there or something?
Nope.
Okay. No, we copied
right?
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have both lists up?
Yeah.
Why?
I told you I was on your Facebook page, and I was because I had you tagged on there. It's top and bottom. I'm just be able to scroll back and forth between each one.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's why. Keep it easy, player. Work hard or work smart, not hard.
Hey, and thank you for putting the same guy for Tampa Bay Bucks as I did, because I read multiple lists of friends I follow on social media. No one put Warren Sapp.
Really?
No one. They put John Lynch, or they would put Mike
that's a good one.
Allstott. Mike Allstott's a beast too. But dude, Warren Sapp, that was the first guy that I can remember watching, once again, from my timeline of following the NFL in detail. That's the first big man that I remember being a chaos creator, a game changer. Because I missed the Lawrence Taylor days and the Reggie Smith days. I missed some of those guys. But Warren Sapp, that is kind of when dude, beast. He was a beast.
Come on, man. He was the face of the organization.
Yeah, by far. Who else did I put? Didn't I put someone else?
You put Mike Allstott. You put Allstott down.
Wait, I didn't put Warren Sapp? Are you sure?
You put Warren Sapp and Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott, cool.
Yeah.
Reason I like Allstott, you already know from a running back standpoint, I personally I'm a fan of the bruisers. The Marshawn Lynch's, the Ezekiel Elliott's, the Derrick Henrys, the dudes are going to lower their shoulder and try and run you over. I love those type of running backs. So Mike Allstott, especially being like the first fullback to come into the NFL and just destroy. Yes.
I think Christian Okoye, he was a bruiser. I know it was before your time, but Christian Okoye, you need to watch highlights of him. I was going to say Corey Schlesinger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That dude was a stud.
Yeah.
No, Mike Allstott, great selection. His kid actually is a quarterback at Western.
Yeah. Wasn't it you who told me he came into the West Main Verizon?
it was probably Win or somebody. I've never dealt with the Allstott family.
Oh, it was probably Nick that told me.
Yeah.
Because if you been there, you would have had a whole different conversation with that man. Yeah. Fuck the phone. So let's talk about Gruden.
Yeah.
What do you got on him? What do you think?
Yeah, right. Is he as trash as I believe he is?
Start taking notes. I'm kind of a big deal. I got a podcast. Mike, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Mike, buddy. Just give me your number. I got your number. I'll call you. Don't worry. I got your number.
He goes, Mike, can I get your number? I got to get into the account. You know what? My son doesn't even need a phone. Not a big deal. I'll do it online.
Everybody looks down and sees a fucking raging hard on because I'm like, yo, I got an interview. Let's do this.
Mike. Hey, Mike.
You know what I'm not saying I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna do this.
Do it.
Is start to get questions in my head, so if I do ever get to help the dude, like I put in my phone and just be like, and go through these questions. Oh, I'm just looking for something here. All right, cool. Hey, Mike. So, tell me, remember? And just keep all the notes in my head, so as soon as I get done with them, I go fucking. These are the answers.
Just calling you running a program called Open Enrollment, and it involves wondering how your career was in the NFL and.
How did you adjust to your day-to-day life after you retired? All right, the Panthers, Carolina Panthers. You have
Steve Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Told you I was gonna have more linebackers, bro. Kuechly is a beast. That I was super sad to see him retire. Obviously he did it for his own well-being. Same thing for Andrew Luck, man. You're starting to see. I mean, it's only been 2, but you're starting to see, these players at a younger age decide to hang up the cleats because they just know how violent of a game this is, and they, you can
just
tell, man.
Last year, right?
Yeah, like this off season.
That's what. Okay, that's
yes.
what
this coming season will be the first season he is not playing.
Yep.
But he only played 8 seasons.
Yeah.
7 seasons.
I mean, let's think about it though. I mean, like, if you're smart with your money, you will be. I mean, like, if you're smart with your money, the millions of dollars that you make, even if you don't make Cam Newton millions of dollars, and you have put yourself in a great situation to have a longer, healthier life than what the guys that are real, the guys that stay and play forever. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact, and brain-wise even, I mean, he was a fucking linebacker. He was smashing heads, So yep. I'm with you, man.
And he
was a beast,
hard.
too.
He played hard. So, and then Steve Smith. We both got Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Gangster.
I'll be honest, like, I am going to apologize on the podcast right now for not putting Cam Newton's name down. As we sit here and we're looking at this, I feel like I enjoyed watching Cam Newton play for the fucking Carolina Panthers. And if I had to think of like their all-time, if I was trying to keep it just to one name, because I could go through a fucking team and probably name off, I got 4, I got 5, because I can remember each time that I really enjoyed watching these guys. But I would have to say my slash or my honorable mention would be Cam Newton, but Steve Smith was definitely that how tall was he? 5'11", 5'10"?
Who? Steve Smith?
Steve Smith.
He was short. He was not 6 feet.
Yeah, and I mean he was fast, he was strong, and he disrespected every fucking DB in the league. He was a beast. Let's see here. Falcons. I think you probably only had 1, didn't you? Falcons. You had 2. You had Julio Jones, which he was
5'9", by the way. Just side note.
5'9". Okay, yep. That's what's up. So Julio Jones,
Mike Vick.
Yeah, and then of course Mike Vick,
the
which
beast.
I mean, if you got the opportunity to grow up or not even grow up, just be around and watch sports during the time that Mike Vick was playing.
Nuts, dude.
Then you get to watch some amazing football. And here's the thing is like Mike Vick as a football player transcended to the fact that even non-sport fans knew who Mike Vick was. I have to believe that. And I know I'm stepping on a ledge here because I'm trying to speak for people that weren't sports fans, but that's how I feel his reach was back then.
Agreed. Everyone knew who Mike Vick was. You did a good job of sticking to one name.
Tried.
I did not.
Because you said it in the notes. You said it. Copy and repost your all-time favorite. Oh, you just didn't say. I guess I looked at it because the favorite wasn't plural. I was trying not to go that way.
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, I got this off of another friend from high school. So, like, this is not my list. I did not start this. that when I saw it, I put a comment. I said, "This is the best list I've seen on social media. Thank you." And he took that as in his list was the best, which he misunderstood me. I was just letting him know I liked the the question. But he had a
That's
decent
what's up.
list too. He was a couple years older than me, so like his players were a little bit different than mine. But he had a knowledgeable list. He was putting
Right.
players that I easily recognized that you would have to be a sports fan or an NFL fan to know
To know who
some
the
of the
fuck
names
he's
he
talking
threw
about.
down there. So I respected that, but yeah, I have a lot of slashes in mine. But dude,
I was
this
gonna
is my
say,
shit. This is my sport.
yeah,
Like it was hard for me to keep it to one, because
yeah.
I had so many influences. Now, what I tried to do, I tried to go offense defense if I was putting it, but like not all that. I don't follow that rule on most of these. But that
I'll
was
be
like my
honest. Like
goal.
when it came to the NFC North teams, I'm like, I'm not gonna have too many people on this fucking team. I can tell you
Sure.
that much.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that. I hate them all.
Yeah.
No.
But
So we got to the Giants here.
you also had Mike Vick, by the way.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
think I stated that. Giants. You had Eli Manning, David Tyrese. Parentheses. Thank you for beating the Pats.
You will always have my heart, Eli Manning and David Tyree. Eli, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Because of that Super Bowl, you're going to go to the Hall of Fame.
He's gonna
I'll
go to
be
the Hall
honest,
of
bro.
Fame
Like,
just strictly because
just because of that
he
Super
beat Tom Brady twice.
Bowl. Fuck yeah, he did.
He's gonna beat the most dominant quarterback of all time
Literally,
twice.
his introduction to the Hall of Fame is going to be Eli Manning beat the Patriots
Twice.
And then he's just going to walk off the stage.
You're right. It'd be like this.
I'll be honest with you, though, man, because, I mean, so for you, your Giants pick, you put Lawrence Taylor. Legend.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But one of the best pass rushers to ever play the game. And I'll be honest, when I thought Giants, he was one of the first names that came to mind right away. Just boom, Lawrence Taylor. The thing is for me, I don't really have a lot of Giants players that are like my favorite. You know what I mean? Like that. There's just no favorite player.
Let's say growing up
Oh.
during that time,
Right.
and then like and you knew you were watching something special when you watched them play. That's the reason why he definitely became because I thought about it. I'm like, I don't have a favorite Giant. I actually almost left it blank. I was like, Eli Manning, I guess, like I don't know, like I didn't have him. I guess I could probably say Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
If this list in 10 years from now, if he stays a fucking Giant, I could almost guarantee you he might make my fucking favorite Giant of all time.
There were two players, if I didn't go with my Eli, David, Tyree, there were two players, if they said, Clay, you got to pick one. And the two were either going to be...
Not Manningham?
No. Even though he caught that. But no, my two would have either been one of two. One, not in order. Jeremy Shockey. I was a huge Jeremy Shockey fan. And the other one would have been...
He was Graham before Graham was Graham.
Dude, Shockey was a game changer, bro. He was an athletic tight end. That was the first time I remember a super athletic tight end in the league.
Was he before Gonzalez?
Gonzalez was always good, but like I'll be honest, like I didn't really look at Tony Gonzalez as like a super athletic guy. He was just big and had amazing hands.
Dude, he was a basketball player by nature.
Yeah, all I'm saying is when I think of Tony Gonzalez, I don't think like I just felt like Jeremy Shockey. Once again, keep in mind that I saw the last 4 to 5 years of Tony Gonzalez. I missed his intro into the NFL. I got to see Shockey come into the NFL. So by the time Gonzalez was relevant to me, he was he even with the Chiefs? He might have been finishing with the Chiefs going into his career with
Falcons.
Where did he go? Was it Atlanta?
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, keep in mind these are the Tony Gonzalez I was used to. First of all, Tony Gonzalez is probably Tony Gonzalez
are hurt right now.
First of all, I mean, if you get a top tight end, I mean, he's probably one or two best tight ends of all time, probably number one. I'm not saying he's not the greatest. All I'm saying is I remember when Shockey came in, he was different.
Yeah,
let's just leave it at that.
I'm with you.
He was different. Just like you said, just like Jimmy Graham. There were other big tight ends who could catch the ball, but Jimmy Graham set himself apart with his athleticism.
Word.
He was more of a receiver than he was a tight end, and I thought Shockey, he wasn't that good. I'm just saying from a Giant. The other one would have been Tiki Barber. I was a big Tiki Barber fan back in the.
Shit! How did I not mention him? That dude was a stud.
Days. Barber, Kerry, or not Kerry? Was it Kerry Collins? Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. That shows you named those names, and I was just like, oh fuck, I forgot about them. That's the reason why they're not my favorite of all time.
Exactly.
Because they didn't pop right in my head. Like I was trying to do this list pretty quick.
I was a big Victor Cruz fan too when he was still with New York.
Let's see here. Then we go to the Cowboys, and you selected Leon Lett. Thank you for helping Miami win at the.
Woo! Don't do it, Leon.
So you brought Leon Lett.
You picked Emmett, didn't you pick Emmett?
I picked
Deion and T.O. So I had T.O. down for the my Cowboy. I had Terrell Owens.
Terrell
Owens.
Hey man, if we ever get the opportunity to fucking talk to him, he got his own podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
But if I ever get the opportunity, we gotta make sure you say the name right. He'll respect us.
Yeah. Just like it's Tyrod Taylor and not Tyrod Taylor.
Oh yeah. So, but anyways, T.O. Yeah, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Terrell Owens. I had Terrell Owens. But then I was like, hold up. I remember more of Philly T.O. than I do Dallas T.O.
Okay.
And then I was like, and he played for San Francisco, but I was like, I didn't really mess with him when he was in San Fran. And then I was like, I'll put him when I get to the Eagles. But then I got down to the Eagles, which we'll cover here in a second. And I was like, nope, I was like, I have way, way more impactful Eagles in my opinion, for me personally.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, shout out Terrell Owens, like for sure. And then it's Deion. I thought about Deion when I thought about San Francisco actually and Atlanta.
Okay.
Those are the Deons that I always think of. But I'll be honest, both of those players, while they're both on topic, they were good everywhere they went. I don't feel like they were ever bad.
I sat there when I came to the Cowboys. This is when these two players first came to mind. I'm like, where do I put them? Right? Because, I mean, you had both of them with San Francisco. You had Deion with fucking Atlanta, and you had T.O. with Philly. With Deion, I thought about it, and when did he make the biggest impact in my life? Was back when he played with the Cowboys, because that was when I was in high school, and I remember like I wore my fucking Nike gloves. I had to have Nike gloves because that's what Deion wore, and he was a defensive back. And even though I was a strong safety and he was a corner, you know, I did the stance that he did when I had to cover somebody man on man. And I got real close because he always got real close to people because he was fast enough to run backwards. And I was like, if Deion's fast enough to run backwards, I will become fast enough to run backwards. And actually, shout out to Coach Ryan Tonavo. He's like, yo, man, he's like, closer. He goes, you run faster backwards than everybody runs forward. So he's like, get closer and hit them motherfuckers in their mouth. You know, so I was like, well, shit, Deion does that too. So, and then I stole a page off Jim McMahon, though. I did wear the headband around the neck because, you know, got to get my swagalicious on with the wristbands. I mean, I took it down to the fucking dress. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, Deion, when he did that, he was with the cow. I mean, like, did that entire career, but I mean, right. You know, and even like the stance. So that's when I sat there and I was like, that's when I'm gonna put Deion. Terrell, I mean, I loved him in San Francisco. He was a joy to watch there. He started, you know, he was a lot of fun in San Francisco, and I think it took him to get to Dallas to really become the player that you knew in Philly, right? Like, I know you know him in Dallas, but I that's when you were coming to that list, you're like, oh, this is. I think it took that experience, and he had such a huge impact there in Dallas that with Tony Romo, and there was just a lot of stuff there, and I just felt that that was the right place to put him for me. So
Sure. Yeah, I didn't per
I could
se
have
have
easily.
I didn't have any Cowboys that hit home for me. So, like, but when I think of the Cowboys, I do think of that Leon Lett play in the snow,
I
goes and touches the football. Dolphins win the game. Like, I don't know why. It's such an unorthodox thing to happen. You don't
right.
see shit like that every day in football. So, like, that just stands out so much for me. Plus, Jimmy Johnson was their coach at that time. So when he came to
Yeah,
Miami, I always got you know, um, I'm a Jimmy Johnson fan because of his time in
he's
Miami.
great.
And
Great.
so yeah,
But just because he's a fucking great coach. All right. Then we come up to the Redskins.
hmm
I don't feel like we should say Redskins. But the Football Club of
Washington.
Washington.
Well, we both have. I have
This
two,
one
but
was a
we
tough
both
one.
share one. We both share one. Clinton Portis, running back,
Yeah.
beast.
Well, and I sat there because then I started thinking of great of all times there, and I'm like, and I thought of Art Monk, and I was like, you know what? Although I was watching football at that time, and once again I knew how you do your list. You always try to go off of. Then we have the generational gap and all this stuff. You always try to keep it within what you got to witness. So I'm trying to do that as well. And I didn't get to witness Art Monk at Art Monk
Yeah.
ness. He did win 3 Super Bowls, but I was like, I can't fuck with Art Monk like that as my favorite of all
I
time.
mean, I would argue that if you're doing your all-time favorite list, you should be able to put Art Monk if you want. It's your favorite Redskin. Who cares if you got to watch him? I
Well,
mean, you put Jim Brown.
I get no,
You know what I
I
mean? Like,
respect that. I
so
respect no, but I'm
I just don't
thinking
want you
when
to
I'm
do
doing
your
my list,
list off of
I
how I do
did
my
the
lists. That's all.
I did my list because of the fact that I had a very strong sneaky suspicion we were going to come across this in the conversation for the pod. I didn't know it was going to take up the whole pod, but this is great. So I was just like, I'm going to keep it within the realm so we have something equal to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. So I didn't choose Art Monk. Art Monk does as
Sure.
a great Redskin.
But
And then
do
who
you
do you
like
have anybody else?
do you like my second pick? I thought
Uh,
I thought you would have been very happy of my second pick. So I took Doug Williams.
oh
Um,
yeah.
reason I picked Doug Williams, so Doug Williams, first African American quarterback, basically in the
Yep.
NFL, to go and not only really like play, because there was another, but he won a Super Bowl, and not only did he
So there's
win
been
a
a
Super
couple.
Bowl, not only did right, and not only did that happen, but no one believed he could even do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I
I
came
love that.
across Doug Williams. Oh, I was watching Peyton's Places, that Peyton Manning
Okay.
special on ESPN
Yep.
Plus,
Yep.
and one
I
of them
just
was
watched.
Art of the Quarterback, and he got, or no, it wasn't. It might have been like a Black History Month episode. So they were talking about black athletes in the NFL, and they talked about Doug Williams, and like I had always knew of Doug Williams, but I didn't know him, and I got to watch kind of his upcoming into the NFL. What he kind of had to go through, and I just got mad respect for that. Like my dude just kept on, and he could throw the damn football. Like
Right.
he just backed it up, and he not only did he like barely scoot by him. I mean, my man was dominating teams.
And I,
And
and I respect. I
so
saw that and I
I had to
respected
throw
that
that.
choice,
Yeah,
but I
I
was
had
just
to
like,
throw that out there.
um, let's see here. Where are we at now? We're on the Eagles. You have Deshaun Jackson and then Brian Dawkins.
Mm-hmm.
Great fucking picks.
Yeah,
Great
Dawkins.
pick.
I told you I always like to get a couple defenders out there, and Brian Dawkins. I mean, so we'll get to my favorite player of all time down this list, but Brian Dawkins I think is my second all-time favorite defensive player, even over any of my Dolphins.
Oh,
He wore
good
the
choice.
black tinted visor. And when
Yeah.
them Eagles were at home wearing them all greens or wearing them black
And when they
unis,
got, and
you
when
did
especially
not.
if the lights came down,
You
if
did
the lights came down,
not.
and they were
Yes.
playing at night, it was
Bro,
sick.
You did not want to throw it at Brian Dawkins' area. Not
No.
because he was a pick machine, which he still got his hands on the ball. He would knock the shit out of wide receivers, bro.
They were
I
getting
just
hit.
love the way he played the game. Now, thank God for Brian Dawkins, and unfortunately for receivers, he played before like helmet to helmet really got cracked
Right.
down on. But that dude knocked some heads. And I got Deshaun Jackson in here. Little more current. I mean, he's still playing now with the. Actually, he's back with the Eagles. But Deshaun Jackson, to me, was the newest version of the human joystick. Like
Right.
that man, he had burners. And watching, and once again, being a big Mike Vick fan, watching Mike Vick when he was in Philly and Deshaun Jackson make that comeback against the Giants on Christmas or right around Christmas, one of the best games of all time, man. And I was actually watching that game. Deshaun Jackson's a beast, bro.
I went with Donovan McNabb.
Classic.
He was, I don't know. I remember Donovan McNabb holds a special place in my heart because there was a blizzard that happened years ago back, gosh, 90 a snowstorm. I don't know. All I know is that me and my boy, he got stuck at my house. Because we went out partying the night before, and he was supposed to go to work, but the roads were so bad. He's like, "Yo, I can't make it." And I mean, like, it was like one of those shutdown moments almost. Well, nothing like what we experiencing now,
right.
but anyways, we reminisce about this a lot together because the fact that he was just stuck there. We walked down the middle. I lived on a highway, like and I'm from a rural area, so a highway, can be in a slow town, but you still walk it. And we walked on the center of that bitch with fucking 2 cases of beer. and we met my cousin Lance, who you've met Lance. He's in the fantasy league.
Yep.
But we met Lance because there was a halfway point at this liquor store in town, and went in, bought some beer, and we came back to my house and we played Monopoly, drinking beers at my house the whole fucking time. But me and my band, we sat there and we were laid up in my upstairs, and we watched Donovan McNabb play his bowl game, his senior year bowl game that year. And I don't know, he just holds apart because that was a special moment in my life that I hold with one of my special friends.
Where did McNabb go to school?
What's that? He went to Syracuse.
Syracuse. Thank you.
And so we sat there and we watched that, and I don't know, he just kind of held a timepiece there. So, but anyways, Don McNabb, still a great football player for the Eagles, and somebody I just remember I enjoyed watching him. And then of course Randall Cunningham, who I'll be honest might have made me an Eagle fan. I'm surprised today that I'm not an Eagle fan because of the fact that nobody. Here's the thing, guys. In my personal belief, I probably have nothing to go off of other than the fact that he was the blueprint of the black quarterback that you have today. Vic, Jackson, what's the other kid? DeAndre, out of Houston. What's that kid's name? What's that?
Oh, you talking about Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson. He's a runner too. You know what I mean?
DeAndre,
Russell Wilson.
too soon.
I know, right?
Too soon. Favorite Texans, DeAndre. Ooh.
Yeah. I drew a blank there, man. David Carr, he's the first day draft pick. But I don't know. Like he meant a lot and I remember I also was my freshman year in high school, and they put out positions. My offense position was a quarterback. I just wanted to be a receiver and a defensive back. That was it. But they had me a quarterback, and I was like, okay, I got to find fucking quarterbacks to kind of look after, and he definitely made that list. Let's see here. 49ers. The Niners. Who you got here? You chose Patrick Willis. Fucking stud. Shut your mouth.
Linebacker.
Shut your mouth.
Now,
he will shut it quick.
I already know a lot of people are going to say Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Ronnie Lott, which I know you have Ronnie Lott and you have Jerry Rice. Like,
yeah,
you can't knock either of those picks. Hall of Famers. Patrick Willis, though, once again, like these are players that I watched when I played football, and these are linebackers that I kind of like idolize. Like these are the guys that I would like to play like big hitters, field generals. Like I mean, I've said it before. Patrick Willis is a beast. Like he was cream of the crop. He was the best of the best at his peak in the NFL. And my man played some damn good football. Once again, like I know some of these players are like Patrick
He was
Willis,
on that
like
Super Bowl team. He was on the Super Bowl team with
so
Cap.
when the lights went out, he was.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, with
Yep,
Cap and
yep. They're playing the Ravens.
Yep, Ravens. It was a Harbaugh Bowl.
Yep.
And the right Harbaugh won.
Yeah. And so yeah. Anyways, like Patrick. Other than that, like yeah, I mean, like I that's a guy I got to watch.
Impressive pick,
and I'll be honest,
I was happy with that one.
Yeah. So we're good there.
That was a solid pick, man. I of course like I grew up. So I grew up during when I first started watching football. You had the Niners.
That's what you got to watch.
I got the Niners, and then I also had the Bills, and then I also had the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Dominant.
And so so for me to watch the Niners, easily Jerry Rice. And the reason why I would choose Jerry Rice as my favorite Niner is because it didn't matter if he had Joe Montana or he had fucking Steve Young. He was, or Jeff Garcia. He was still Jerry fucking Rice.
Yes, he was.
All right. So, you know,
I always
put some respect. I always put respect on his name, and then he goes and wins the first ever thing of Dancing with the Stars. So, I mean,
you know what I always thought was crazy, and I don't even know if a lot of people think this. I think it's incredible that Jerry Rice was, and I would say to the common person, they probably don't even think this is a big deal, but it's a huge deal. Being able to catch footballs from a righty and a lefty quarterback. That spiral is different. The spiral is also coming into your hands different too. The rotation of the football, like you got to have hands to be able to just be like, I don't care who's throwing it. Literally.
Yeah. I will catch that motherfucker. Yeah. So that was easy.
Hey, you got some Ronnie Lott too.
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Fame safety.
Another person why I kind of garnished my game off of. I wasn't a big like I'm gonna pick the ball guy. I'm gonna hit you guy. And so I mean I enjoyed the physicality of the game of football. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I got some childhood issues. I don't know. But therapy. You know, it definitely I took a lot from him. I'm actually mad I didn't put this name down for Cardinals, but anyways, watching him play football, I watch him hit people. You're talking about defensive backs hitting hard, or you're talking about linebackers hitting hard. This was a fucking defensive back that hit like a linebacker.
Dude, he was a wrecking ball. He's probably one of the hardest hitting safeties along with Brian Dawkins. Yeah. Those are probably the two hardest hitting safeties in NFL in the history of the NFL.
John Lynch was a beast.
John Lynch, he hit big. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Ronnie Lott and Brian Dawkins, they were.
Yeah. I'll give you a top. I'll give you I'll just real quick top 5 fucking safeties that hit fucking like wrecking balls. Dawkins, Ronnie Lott, Lynch, Steve Atwater, and then Chuck Cecil. He was a Cardinal.
I was gonna say Chuck Cecil. Nope, I don't got anything. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was a monster. He basically had to retire because he couldn't take the fines anymore. He's like, yo, okay, I'm done. Let's see here. Where are we at?
We are to Rams.
Rams. You put Marshall Faulk on Isaac Bruce.
Isaac Bruce, yeah.
Tell me about them. What made you choose those guys?
Well, I mean, we'll start with Isaac Bruce because we both put Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
Isaac Bruce, man, I just remember when the Rams were making that Super Bowl run. Now, keep in mind, at this time,
Greatest show on turf.
even though I always still rooted for the Dolphins, at my young age, I still kind of went through finding a team of my own because I kind of went through a phase of like not wanting to be the same team as my dad.
Okay.
And I went through a phase where I was actually a Titans fan when they first expanded and became the Tennessee Titans.
That's a good reason to be a Titans fan.
I was like, you know what? I'm at that age where I'm trying to like discover who I want to follow, who do I want to make my team, and I was like Titans. I go, what a cool name, and they got cool colors. You know what I mean? Because I mean, when you're 9, I mean, shit. And I was like, you know what? I go, I'm gonna follow these Tennessee Titans. Lo and behold, they go to the fucking Super Bowl. You know, I wasn't even ready for that shit.
Right.
And like Eddie George once again ran right the fuck over you, even though he was fast. Unfortunately, he was a Buckeye. But I know. But at the time, I was like, I like the way he runs. And then you got Steve McNair, amazing quarterback.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, bro. You got Kevin Dyson. You got Samari Roll on the defense. You got Javon Curse. You got all these guys. And I was,
Javon Curse is a beast.
Hey, wait till we get later on in my list, baby. And then, so like you had all these great guys, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to follow these Titans. And anyways, point I'm getting at, I remember, especially in the Super Bowl, but I remember being able to still follow, somewhat of the NFL. And I remember Isaac Bruce was always being highlighted. Always, dude. He was Kurt Warner's go-to guy. And I did a Madden draft because I've always enjoyed Madden drafts. So I pick up Isaac Bruce, and of course, what do? Go undefeated and win a Super Bowl in Madden. And Isaac Bruce is my number one guy. And ever since then,
video games, fantasy football, I just win.
Dude, I tell you what, bro. Granted, at that age, if I was losing a game, I would quit and replay the game until I won. So like I was cheating the system at that age, but I hated losing, bro. I hated losing. Put them headphones back on. I ain't done talking to you. And so, anyways, Isaac. Oh, there we go. Enough said. Isaac. Still one of, if I'm not mistaken, I still think he's one of the Rams' all-time leading receivers in yards. If I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
Like I think he's top 10. I think he may be top 10 all-time in receiving yards. And I know you wouldn't think that, but dude.
Isaac Bruce is a beast, dude. That was a great choice. I mean, and we both put Marshall Faulk, like you said.
Beast.
Undoubtedly, like top 20 running back, I would say, probably. Think that's a tough one to try and place him in a top list. I'm trying to figure out what you done. You Googling something?
I gotta look up Isaac Bruce. I gotta see if he's top 10. It's gonna drive me nuts till I look. Nope. Oh, it's Torrey Holt that's up there. My bad. Holt I know. I'm sorry. Isaac Bruce, 5th all-time in all-time receiving yards. I overlooked.
What's up?
Guess who's 6? Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Athleticism. What? He's just big. He's just big.
Yeah, he fucked up.
He's just like, big. Marshall Faulk's
and we both. Yeah, I mean,
I don't got.
but the thing is, I mean, like, I think when you start to look at top something, I think you're gonna work him into a top 20 list, not a top 10.
Yeah. Seahawks. You put Marshawn Lynch. Not mad. You can't not like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. There was I almost went Steve Largent or Brian Bosworth, but
Bosworth.
What's that?
Wow. Okay, I forgot about him. But Largent. That's a good one.
But like Bosworth was name alone.
Largent,
you know what I mean? And go green.
Go white.
He was a receiver.
He was a receiver? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew he was like a skill position.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Bosworth was more name more than, his football ability, even though he was still.
Well, Hang
I
on.
was thinking of Maravich
Oh,
was who I was thinking of as well, but because he went to Green Bay, that's where he wants to go green because Bosworth was a Sooner. What's that?
white. You said go green. I had to
Yeah,
go white.
Oh, that's what's up. I was like, yes, he was white. Uh,
Go whites! Go whites!
yeah, he fucked up. I was like, yeah, he was white. Um, Marshawn, I just think that for him, that I had to think of Seattle in general, and it was legitimately a favorite player for that team. That was a tough one, and I just remember watching him play too much. You know what I'm saying? Like of everybody else in Seattle, he's the only one that really made an impact. So
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, right. So
Dude.
okay, so I got two things to say. So I put Earl Thomas. Once again, we're going with awesome big hit and safety. Cam Chancellor's there too, man. That Legion of Boom when they still had Richard Sherman too.
Ooh, Richard Sherman, nice.
Yeah,
or Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's my favorite fucking Seattle Seahawks.
So I respect Richard Sherman. I'm not saying I'm a personal fan. No, I personally don't think he's ever done anything too outlandish to make me not like him. I know some people don't like him because he's outspoken. That doesn't bother me none. He is educated, he's smart, and he's true to himself. I don't think he's ever gone out of his way to purposely disrespect somebody. The whole Crabtree shout out, like after the Super Bowl, that was due more towards Crabtree trash talking him first. Yeah. And that's him responding with his actions. Then he verbally responded after he won that ship. Yep. But no, Earl Thomas, man, I just when I think of that defense, I know a lot of people go right to Richard Sherman. Or I don't know why. Earl Thomas was always the one that really stood out for me. And Cam Chancellor. I almost put Cam Chancellor too, because Cam Chancellor will knock your head off too. But no, Earl Thomas, I felt like for some reason that always resonated with me. Now, the one that I wanted to put, and I can't because of spite, because I'm immature, would be Russell Wilson. Russell.
Yeah, right. I was the same way. I was like, nope.
Russell Wilson is he's a beast.
I put my phone down. I put my arms up like this.
Yeah, right. Dude, I mean, Russell Wilson is one of the best QBs in the league, in my opinion. Even if his stats always don't resemble it, he's one of the best.
Reason why I believe in Tyler Lockett.
He married Sierra. You can't fuck that up. But
well, I mean, you could because Future did. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna catch a fade on Future when he sees me.
What he did to Michigan State in that Big Ten championship, I'll never be able to forgive him.
Yeah,
I'll never be able to forgive him.
That was an emotional roller coaster that I'll never fucking.
I just remember I was ecstatic, and I went to dead. He killed me. He killed my insides.
No, you were ecstatic. Then you went to dead. Then you were ecstatic again. Then you went to dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I was sending fucking texts like crazy, like yo. Oh shit. All right. So now we're on to the Cardinals. We are the same. Larry Fitzgerald.
Nothing to say. Legend. I almost put Anquan Bolden.
That was a nice one. I almost put Emmitt Smith just because I felt like I should have him on a list somewhere.
Dude, as a joke, I almost started putting players at the tail end of their careers. Like when it came to like Vikings, I almost put Brett Favre. Jets. It was Jets. When it was Jets, because I was like, fuck the Jets. I was gonna be like Brett Favre.
But the thing was, I was gonna say that Brett Favre that because that was the last team he was with. That was a legit fucking Brett Favre.
They were good. So, but yeah, Larry Fitz. Mad respect.
I mean, I think because we still talk about him as being how wonderful he is.
There was one other Cardinal that I actually almost put, and that's Patrick Peterson.
Okay.
Just shut down corner, bro. I didn't just because he doesn't impact me at all, but respect to Patrick Peterson too. Colts, you already know I put my boy Peyton Manning.
I mean,
It was easy. Some people put Edgerrin James. Some people put Marvin Harrison. That's all good. But Peyton Manning.
Those are solid, but I mean, like, here's the thing. The only person that you could ever put is Johnny Unitas above a favorite fucking Colt.
Fair. That would be the only one. I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
And if you choose anybody else on top of over Peyton Manning, then you don't know sports.
Yep. We both have the same Jaguar.
Yeah. He's the only one that's been a name. I mean, Byron Leftwich, I guess.
So another name that popped up for me, Keenan McCardell. Okay. Keenan McCardell was pretty dope too.
That.
Yep.
I would have respected that.
Yep.
Texans, I think we both have just one player here of J.J. Watt. Yeah, we both have J.J. Watt. Once again, we sing his praises every time we talk about the Texans.
He's a game changer, bro. He's one of my players in the NFL that I look to and just say, that's more than an NFL player. That dude is a class act. He gives back to his community. He engages with his fans at the games. Like, he is exactly what you want when you are an owner of a football team. To a T. There is nothing wrong, at least to the public eye, there is nothing wrong with J.J. Watt at all. That dude is like perfect.
He takes care of he looks after the team. He takes care of the community.
That's what,
When Houston flooded, what was it, 2 years ago? He was big. I mean, there was a lot of hands
that might have been
helping.
Year. That might have been 2019.
It might have been, yeah.
Because I remember reaching out to my buddy.
He jumped the fuck in there, and he's just like,
yeah.
And I don't have anybody in Houston. You got somebody in Houston? I hear Houston's dope.
I got to
take the pot on the road.
I went to hhigh school with. That was down there. Good buddy of
mine.
Titans
let's see here. Then you
Oilers.
You got Curse and Derek Mason.
Yeah, Javon Curse, bro. I told you he was coming.
You
Javon
spoke
Curse,
him earlier,
Derek Mason. Yep. I mean, I don't need to say much more about it. That was prime Tennessee Titans Super Bowl. I could have put Frank Wycheck. I was a huge Frank Wycheck fan. I was a big Steve McNair fan. Samari Roll was a just lockdown cornerback. And I almost put I actually typed his name and then deleted it only because of my bias. Javon Ringer. Go green.
White.
Yeah.
In case you didn't hear that on the pod, I said go white.
So I took.
I realized I was back from the mic, so I was just like, I don't know how close I got to be.
But you have legend Warren Moon back in the Oiler days. I almost put Warren Moon, to be honest. This is the only one that says Titans/Oilers, which I thought was kind of weird, but dude, Warren Moon. I never got to watch him.
I looked at that when it came up to that question. And I saw the slash. I was just like, all right, well, if it's, and once again, try my best to stick with one player. I was just like, he's the one that signifies everything that organization for me.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, one of those players that, I mean, he's in the fucking Canadian Football Hall of Fame, and he is in the NFL Hall of Fame, and that's because he's fucking better than fucking bad. I should have fucking looked up his stats for this conversation, but and being a black athlete that given the opportunity back in the time that once again, although what was my man's name that you said earlier?
Doug Peterson. Oh no,
Doug Peterson.
No, sorry, it's
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams. Thank you.
Yeah. This is still given during that time when black athletes were not given the quarterback position to play. And he, he showed he could do it in Canada. And then Houston, definitely went against the grain at that time period and brought Warren Moon in. And he was a dominant fucking force.
Mm-hmm.
If I think about that organization as a whole, he is definitely by far my favorite player for that.
Yep.
That history of team.
Hey, side note, intermission. I'm really upset that you only have one like and no comments, and I have no likes and one comment. These are some dope lists. These are educated, proficient fan lists, and I am disappointed in my followers.
I was gonna say it's an individual, like, like here's the reason why, and I know why. We don't post enough just individually in our own lives on social media.
I'm talking about just my friends, anybody,
But
my family.
but
Not even
you gotta think
proficient
about it.
fan
Think about
talking.
it. Think about no. There's algorithms that are in place here. You think apparently
I see what you're
okay.
saying. Nope, I'm with you.
You may
Facebook stuff.
never show up. Yeah, so I mean, like, you got to post more so you show that people might actually want to fucking pay attention to what you're saying.
You can also edit your news feed to either show relevant topics that you're interested in for the people you
most
frequently
recent,
view, or
yeah,
most recent. I keep mine on most recent personally.
I always have to go and change it to most recent because as soon as I open up the app, it just shows like
You'll show shit from like yesterday. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Moving on. We are to the Steelers.
Steelers.
You have Hines Ward, which great pick. I completely forgot about Hines Ward, to be honest with you.
Are you fucking kidding me?
When I was thinking
he was Wes Welker before Wes Welker.
When I was thinking, no, he's better than Wes Welker.
I know,
far.
Right?
Wes Welker was a go-to slot. Hines Ward was a number 1 or number 2. Easily.
I was going to say, Hines Ward only went to number 2 after he had gotten long in the tooth.
That was after Mike Wallace hit Pittsburgh and Antonio. Was Antonio Brown there while Hines was there? Or was that after Hines retired? It was probably bang bang. I bet it was pretty bang bang.
Did they win the Super Bowl? Didn't they win the Super Bowl? Antonio Brown's first year in the league.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Antonio Brown was making as big of a splash at that point, if that was the case.
Didn't he?
But I do know Mike
make that
Wallace.
Super Bowl catch, or was that Wallace?
I'm pretty sure Mike Wallace was there on the sideline that made that toe toucher. Is that what you're talking about? The tippy toe?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Because I remember Mike Wallace went to Miami either the next year or 2 years after that. I was super pumped. Fucking Dolphins. Trash.
Miami, man. Too much cocaine.
A good pick on Hines Ward. I ended up going with our boy Le'Veon Bell. Go green.
I will go white. I wanted to choose him.
Yep.
That was dope.
Hey, you already know how I feel about Le'Veon. Even though he went to the Jets, and I fucking hate the Jets, I will still always kind of be a Le'Veon fan. That was when Le'Veon was playing, I was watching Michigan State, and I think I can't remember if I was in college when he was in college. I think I was. I want to say I was, dude. I think my freshman year was his junior year or sophomore year. So anyways, you catch my drift. Like, that shit, Le'Veon, he means a lot to me, man. Like, that's why if he ever signed with Miami, I'd probably cry, because like he is probably one of my favorite players. And I mean, other than the linebacker, I think the running back is my second favorite position, and that dude's just a beast. And then I also have James Harrison. Linebacker, defensive end, like, hits hard. His work ethic is bonkers. Do you watch his workouts on Instagram?
All the time, dude.
He's
so
playing
fucking strong.
He plays medicine ball volleyball. He just catches these 25-pound medicine balls and heaves them back over the net. Like those, and like in sand. That shit's tough. Everybody thinks that shit's easy.
I actually thought he was going to get picked up last year before the playoffs. I thought somebody was going to be like, you know what, let's grab him.
That dude's in
He's
shape,
in
man.
shape.
I just saw him doing quarantine push-ups with his two kids, his two boys, on his back.
Yeah.
That dude is still buff. He loves working out. Good for him.
I was going to say, I mean, that's the reason why, if he can continue that, I think you got to think about, like, longevity, right? We talk about that a lot as far as like how people respond after, how their bodies respond after the game that they play, right? So those guys that are like, I'm done, and I say stop working out, their bodies start to fail them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reason why, you look at anybody from my heyday of being a kid watching athletes, and why they all use canes and are all fucking like decrepit, is because the fact that once they ended, they stopped working out. You see a lot of guys retire now, they still work out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
also
Real good
have
Jeeks.
people that are being paid to tell them, "Yo, keep it moving."
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Different
but
time.
I
No,
mean,
no, but
they,
yes, I agree with you. Yes, in general,
so
generally speaking.
let's see here. We go to the Ravens. You choose Killer Ray and Ed Reed. Ed Reed's a great pick. I just started following my Instagram. But Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, I would say if you're gonna pick pillars of Baltimore, those are the two. When you think of the Baltimore Ravens,
Yes. So hardest hitting
Ray
safety,
Lewis, but
Ed Reed, and that dude's
we
got
didn't
hands.
mention we didn't
No,
even mention him in the top
nope.
five.
So
Should have.
I think. So first of all, Ray Lewis is my favorite player of all time. I think you knew that already, but like that dude is the epitome of what I could have dreamt
Player?
to be. Favorite football player of all time,
That's
Ray
solid.
Lewis.
Man, I guess I never really thought about my favorite.
Over Dan Marino, over all of these other Ray Lewis. I mean, that is what I could have only dreamt to be like. I talked about all these other linebackers, about guys like I idolized. It was like, oh, I would love to play like him. Ray Lewis to me was always unachievable. That man set himself apart from what I got to experience in the game of football. Thank you for the pop. He was next level, man. He was like a god. Like, I know some people will argue that he wasn't that good and whatever, but like to me,
Who?
No, I'm just saying people would argue, especially with Ray Lewis and his legal battles during his career. Like people would say like, oh, like Ray Lewis wasn't that good, blah blah blah, and like I'm just saying I could see people because of his quote unquote murder, they will discredit him in his career. Same with Mike Vick and his dog scandal. Personally, he made a bad decision. Mike Vick did. That doesn't take away from what he did on the field.
How much of that documentary did you watch?
Of Mike Vick?
30.
I never watched the part 2. I never watched part 2 yet.
I mean, I started getting into it. I mean, it sounded like he knew, but I mean, like, my biggest argument, if I have to come up with an argument, I have 3 dogs, people. All right, I'm not for dog fighting. All right, so don't make my defense of what he went through as a defense for dog fighting. I'm not defending that by any means. You also have to think about where people come from and what is normal. All right, back where he came from, that was normal. That you can't just say, oh, because I grew up not like that. You can never think that is a normal thing. Guess what? The fact that we have running water in our fucking houses is normal for us, but not normal for other people. All right? Realize that, and realize that people have different upbringings, and the moral compass at it all, don't kill a human. A lot of people look at animals as just animals that can live and die. And if you're gonna be that fucking, butthurt over dogs, please, I want you to shed a tear every time you see a fucking dead deer carcass or a dead bird on the side of the road. You gotta stop and fucking cry. You have to, or don't fucking talk to me over that shit. Go on. I'm sorry.
Ray Lewis.
I just don't want.
Yep. Good. Hey, no. Good side
the murder. Oh, wait a minute. Murder. That's different.
Yeah, right.
I think I even said murder. I didn't kill another human being.
So, anyways, innocent, never proven guilty. But anyways,
I was getting ready to sing Kelly.
Dude,
but Kelly guilty as fuck.
Right. Ray Lewis's crisscross face mask, black tinted visor, fucking crazy man intro dance onto the field every single time. Them all black Raven uniforms. Everything about Ray Lewis, bro, to a T was the best. Favorite player of all time by far. And then I have, Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Those two might be the best
pick.
defensive
And
duo.
they were on the same fucking team, man.
Yeah.
That's what's disgusting.
Yep.
Let's see here. Where are we at? We are down to blah
Brown.
blah Browns. Now you chose. Who'd you choose? You chose Nick Chubb, very recent.
Whoa.
And
Excuse me. Hang on. Fantasy football balls deep league champion Nick Chubb. Wait, did I have him in your league? Now I'm second guessing myself. I think I had him in the keeper league. Did I have him in your league?
Look,
honestly, all my
I'm
guys.
not for sure, but
I was just so good in the balls deep league. I honestly forgot who I even had. Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Moving on.
Hey,
so Jabroni, what's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. Shout out WrestleMania.
You chose Nick Chubb.
I'm not even a wrestling fan, but for some reason that's.
I think it happened last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Fucking sports. It's a two-parter, though, isn't it?
Oh, they might be doing two-parter.
Yeah.
So Nick Chubb, and you chose Jim Brown. Now, was Jim Brown on your original list, or did you go and edit?
Oh, I put Jim Brown on the Cincinnati team. Remember, you texted me.
Oh,
so
yeah. Okay,
I had because it was Bengals were right after, and I was still thinking, I was like, oh fuck, Jim Brown, and I never went back up to Nick Chubb and put him. I just put him right after Hushmanzilli.
Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't let my man out there look crazy. Like I said in the headline, my friend and co-host. I did Jim Brown, although I never watched, just felt he should be on the list, and then Bernie Kosar, just because when Bernie was playing, he was a big name in football, and the dog pound and Cleveland was really trying to bark back then. So I don't know. And there was Tim Brown, receiver out of Notre Dame.
For the Raiders?
No, before he went to the Raiders, he played for Cleveland.
Didn't know that. I always thought he played for the Raiders right out the game.
I'm gonna Google that shit right now.
Wait,
but I'm almost
put Tim? I thought you put Jim Brown.
I did put Jim. I did, but then I just said, oh, I forgot about Jim Brown or Tim Brown.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm typically not proficient.
He said, "Who's that quarterback? Deontay, Jadavion."
Let's see here.
Raiders 88-03, Bucks 04. That was Tim Brown's career.
Who am I thinking?
Bazinga! That is embarrassing. No, don't change the subject. I need you to bask. In that real quick. He said
I move on very quickly. I move on quickly. Here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to teach my kids when it comes to like just sports and life. Is you gotta forget about your last bad play.
I'll give you that one.
Where are we at?
That I knew Tim Brown went right to Oakland, and it wasn't even like alive when he went to Oakland. I wasn't even conceived. I was nothing.
That was before you.
I wasn't even in the ball sack, son. I wasn't even around.
Just think about it, like how many pullouts that had to happen before you came out.
Hey, I'm the best fucking mistake that ever happened to Thomas Kelly. For the record, people, I wasn't a mistake.
That's what they. Wait, what's the age difference between you and your sister?
3 years.
Mistake.
How the fuck do you figure that?
No.
Hey, if you want to know what a real mistake is when you name your firstborn after yourself. That's when you're just like, well, I fucked up. I might as well at least make him epic. Let's call him CB. I'm kidding.
Who was I thinking of?
Hey,
I think it was.
Hey, forget about your last. Let's move forward. Going
I
on to
know,
the
but
Bengals.
now I'm curious.
You have Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson.
The Bengals, yeah. Icky Woods. I'm sorry, dude. Or Boomer.
Boomer Esiason. Boomer Esiason. I forgot all about him.
I must have been fucked up when I wrote this list. Icky Woods. In case you didn't, because Clay was looking around, he was looking at his glass, deciding, do I drink this? I don't know. I did the icky shuffle. But no, end of the day, this is a quick list trying to come up with one player, and Chad Ochocinco, he was a fucking stud with no quarterback.
True.
So, that's who I chose. Clay chose. Where are we at here? Bengals. TJ. Great number 2 to Chad Ochocinco.
Hushmanzada. Hushmanzada.
Hushmanzada was a fucking stud, dude.
Hushmanzudu. Haushmazada.
You know what's crazy is I can say his name.
Haushmanzada.
But I can't say slippery slam him. So I mean,
Piazza. Siakam. Patriots. I put nobody. They're all bums.
You know what's funny is I expected nobody to be there.
You know what's funny? When I first put in, I put space. That's what I had at first. But I put Ty Law.
It's first announcing skills, isn't it?
Tom Brady, obviously probably the best Patriot to ever play the game, but he's not my favorite Patriot for obvious reasons. But Ty Law, man, I always remember Ty Law just being a really, really good cornerback.
Oh my God! What's that fucking linebacker's name? He was a beast. Teddy Bruschi.
Yep. I almost put Teddy too, but Ty Law always was the one that stood out for me.
I put Tom Brady. When I remember, I just watched Manning's House with Tom Brady yesterday morning. I put it on because there's nothing on. And I was sitting there going through all this shit, and I was just like, I was watching, they're like showing when Drew Bledsoe gets hurt, and I remember watching that. I was managing. I wasn't even managing. I was working at Foot Locker. I was working to become a manager at Foot Locker, and I give thumbs up. I like Finish Line better, but unless you're gonna pay me for advertising Foot Locker, then I love you. House of Hoops.
I'll wear a ref jersey for every podcast. Just let me know how much. Right? Sign the dotted line.
Yeah. Sign on the line, which is dotted. But anyways, I just remember I had that Sunday off. I was watching football, and I happened to be watching that New England game, and I saw Bledsoe go out. I go, ooh, that looked a little rough. And then Tom Brady shows up, and I was like, all right, like a Big Ten kid. Let's see what happens. And this is before I had the ultimate hate of Michigan, but that was because I don't recall Michigan fans being as douchey as what they are now.
Which is ironic, because that would have been back in the 90s.
When it actually meant something, yeah.
Or not 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Early 2000s, just because it was just after they won the championship.
Didn't he play in the 90s though? 97, 98, 99, or something like that, like somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah. My buddy Seki Bomb is what they called him, or they called him Neckler on the team. He used to play for U of M, and because he played with Charles Woodson, which was fucking dope.
Like that.
So here's the thing: is if you think about like every great Michigan football player that came out of the league in the past 20 years, my buddy played with them. And I guess that tells you that only happened within 2001. So from 96 to 2001, they haven't had a great player come out of that organization. Tells you how trash they are. Just I'm not saying anything. I'm
Butt
just saying
cheeks.
correct me if I'm wrong, and I would love get in our comments. Let me know if I'm wrong of a great NFL player since that 2000. I'll say 2001.
Great.
What's that?
I want to make. Are you saying they have to be great?
Charles Woodson, fucking Tom Brady.
Charles Woodson is Hall of Fame. Tom Brady.
So is Tom Brady.
No, I know that. Well, because I was thinking, like, for example, people would say Denard, huge bust. But there have been people like
in the NFL, you got to talk about. I want you to go into the NFL. Like, I mean, like, we're talking NFL. I'm just saying, like, how.
No.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
The NFL. I'm gonna have to drink on this one.
For what it's worth, I'm not trying to defend the shitty university. I'm just saying, like.
Let me drink on this one. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna have to drink on that one.
I got one. Jake Long. Yep.
Well played.
Left tackle for Miami for many years on our shitty roster. Gave up a handful of sacks in like 7 or 8 years in Miami.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. There you go. There you go, Michigan. But on my list, if you see,
that's your one.
Brady.
That's your one.
Yeah, that's your one. We had to fucking fight for you. Hey, everybody, I want you to know that Clay Haggard fought for you.
Oh, you know what? I like it when I'm on the other side of this. I don't like this. Let's go. Let's flip it back around. I like it the other way. This is some bullshit.
But I did put on my list Tom Brady and then parentheses, fuck you, U of M, because I didn't want to get mistaken or give Clay any fucking ammunition of being a Michigan fan.
Smart. Go green.
So, go white.
Side note. I almost put Biaka Batuka as one of my favorite Panthers, and I was like, Wolverine can't do it. Can't do it. Sorry.
My rating selection might have changed if I was gonna have that kind of hate. Let's see here.
We did both throw a U of M guy down there, but that's legendary.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Jets. We both have Curtis Martin. Great running back.
That's when I got into fantasy football. Like I remember I used to give my buddy Lutz, who's in our fantasy league chat.
They're all my easy money. They're my donations. I know.
I always try to make sure that you know who it is because sometimes you have questions, and I try to make sure that you have everybody in line of whose money you stole. But I remember he used to always draft Curtis Martin. I'm like, dude, what is your problem? Why do you keep getting this guy? And I'm gonna give Curtis Martin some love there. I definitely thought he was. I mean, if I had to think of Jets. Jets.
Shut your fucking.
Don't you ever think that shit again,
dude? You're a piece of shit. Jeez. First he gives old Wolverine Tom Brady a little handy, and now he's over here fucking screaming out Jets chants. Anyways. I also put Keyshawn Johnson. Fucking stud,
dude. That was a great fucking
like
receiver,
that one?
dude. Oh my god.
I feel like a lot of folks probably didn't jump on Keyshawn till his Tampa Bay days, but I feel like when he was in New York, his younger years, man, I just remember him standing out. Like he was like him, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Chad Pennington. Before Chad Pennington came to Miami. Dude, those two, I mean, a lot of people probably forgot. Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin, Keyshawn Johnson, they made a nice run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and they're the only team to beat the Patriots and win the division in Tom Brady's reign. Fun fact of the day. They won the division that year. Fucking Jets.
Let's see here.
Go ahead and say it, baby.
Dolphins.
Future Super Bowl champs 2020, 2021.
So I put because my list is short.
Mine is too.
I mean, because like once again, trying to keep with what I actually watched. Now, I didn't put Dan Marino. I should have because I actually did get to watch Dan Marino. But I think that when I was looking at impact of me as a football player at a young age, Ricky Williams, because I mean, you be black in an all white town and not too fucking slow. You're gonna be put at the speed positions, and I'd always get tried out at running back, but I could never remember the fucking plays. That's the reason why I was on defense.
Coach, let me just hit the player.
Yeah.
Little Bobby Boucher. See what happens is the quarterback takes the football and then I go tackle him unless he hands the football off, in which I then go tackle that football player. Which reminds me, kids, don't smoke crack.
Right.
Waterboy, if you haven't seen it, stop listening.
You need to check it out. But yeah, so what the fuck was I saying? Ricky Williams, fucking
Martin.
stud. Ricky Martin. Ay, do la pita loca.
I mean, if he's gonna be performing anywhere, Miami's the place for him to be.
Wasn't he in oh shit, what was the group he was in before? Fucking
Wrong guy. Wrong question to ask me. Anyways, so I also had Ricky Williams. Which I bet you didn't know this, CB, but Ricky Williams is actually my favorite Dolphin of all time.
I can get it.
Yeah. I already told you that running back is like my second favorite position, and Ricky, dude, that dude was a beast. I wish I would have appreciated him more. This was when I was kind of coming off of my like Titan stint and getting back into like to the age where I was like, oh, I want to like the same team as my dad. And I remember watching Ricky a couple games. Like that's when Chad Pennington was there. Well, granted, they were still doing some shifting with quarterbacks. But yeah, dude, Ricky Williams, dude, he was another beast. He was a beast in New Orleans. He was a beast in Miami. Like, and obviously, like Ricky's
Menudo. I knew what it was. Menudo. It was an old fucking boy band group out of Mexico.
If you ever interrupt me talking about my Dolphins again to tell me
Menudo.
About, he said, "Oh, I want my friend to be successful."
I want you to be successful, but I need
Anyways,
to know who the group was.
Ricky Williams, Dan Marino, Jason Taylor, Zach
Great.
Thomas, Larry Zonka, Cam Wake, and of course, Tua Tagovailoa. Because once we draft him this year, he'll automatically be one of my favorite Dolphins of all time when he takes us to our next Super Bowl.
I mean, like honestly, at the time, I just got done watching because there's no real sports conversations going on a Sunday, and I got on YouTube and I was like a mock draft of the 2020 draft.
So
there's you guys gotten to it
out there, dude. There's so many out there. I've been seeing some recently that have us taking Justin Herbert, and if we do that, I will officially change my favorite team. I do not want Justin Herbert.
It's on here. Golly. Only if he drafts them or if they draft anybody else
I
but
will
Tua.
still be a Dolphins fan. I will just be disappointed. I'm not saying I'm all in for Tua. What I'm saying is Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa are easily the best two quarterbacks in this draft. I think they are on like pedestal one. Those are the cream of the crop. And then below them you have like your Justin Herbert. I still think Jordan Love is up there in that pedestal. I also think you could, even though the analysts don't think up there, I still think that you could have somebody like Jalen Hurts. But I think a lot of people are putting him one step below that threshold. Jake Fromm is up there. You got Eason. I can't think of his first name. He's up there. But I think Tua is a very he could fall 5. He's gonna fall 3 to 5, and that's where he gets drafted. Period. Depends on what Detroit does at 3. If they're gonna trade their pick away, if somebody's gonna try and sneak up there and try and take Tua early, or however that works out. But
fuck.
See.
I was just trying to log into our fucking our page so we upload shit to, and I just got locked out for 2 hours. Um,
Wait, Libsyn?
yeah. Well, I'm trying to put our information out on the street like this, but I mean, it's cool. Just put it out there. Uh,
What does it matter? What does it matter?
I don't know, man. Hackers hack.
So, anyways,
Let's-
what do you have a quick synopsis of my list of Miami?
No, I'll be honest. Your list made sense as a Dolphin fan. You know what I mean? Like
There were so many more I wanted to list, bro,
I could have I could have easily put down a few other. I could have put down Dan Deerdorf. You know what I mean? Like, but once again, trying to keep within the realm that I was watching. I didn't watch Deerdorf. You know what I mean?
If we had to list it,
Marino.
what I watched, it would still have to be Ricky, and then it would have to be Cam Wake. Because
What
even though
about
Jason
you
Taylor and Zach
watched?
Thomas were around during the Ricky times, I wasn't as focused on my position
Okay.
at that age. I was more like, who's the superstar? Because I had been playing Rocket, so I hadn't developed the
Favorite players, favorite teams, all that
exactly.
shit.
I haven't formed the idea of this is what I played. Let me focus on that guy. Right around that
I was
time is
gonna
when
say,
my
like,
dad
I saw
teaching
high
that.
school pictures of you, and you were a stocky guy, so only leads me to believe that you were a stocky kid and had and all they never went off speed when you're in little league football. They're just like, oh, you're a big kid, so you go on the line. Had that been a fucking thing, your main guy would have been like an offensive lineman.
So
You know what I mean?
Fun
So they
fact.
didn't see, oh, the kid can move his fleet on the foot. You know
Fun
what I mean?
fact.
They don't get, unfortunately, they don't give stocky kids that chance.
I was actually a skinny kid. I didn't really start getting stocky till like middle school. And
Okay.
I was a quarterback until high school
Oh wow.
because I always had an arm. So like
Right.
Rocket, I was a quarterback every year. Seventh grade, I sprained my ankle, like high ankle sprain, at the Y. Actually, I was playing basketball. High ankle sprain. Didn't play football at all. I like my parents were like no. Like my middle school was a joke at football. And then when 8th grade came around, they were like, "You're not even going to play. We're taking you back to Portage Rocket." And I played Rocket football my 8th grade year, just because it was higher competition than what I would have. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have developed. So I went
Right.
back and played with the Portage kids. Then came high school. By then, I was bigger. And I mean, quarterbacks at that point, they the way the demographic was at my school, all of the quarterbacks I ever had in high school were little, fast Mike Vicks. You know, like they're all
Right.
just scrambling quarter. And plus, the way my coach implemented an offense is we were extremely fast. We had a lot of speed on my team. I mean, Cameron Cheatham, he was a AAU track star. He set a U.S. record at the
That's
time.
what's up.
So point being is, and he was our running back, and our quarterback was shifty. And then when I got to an upperclassman, we had an even shiftier younger kid that was a quarterback. So I played linebacker, but I also played my junior year. I played offensive line. So my junior year, I played kickoff, kick return, punt return, offensive line, linebacker. I never came off the field ever. I'll never forget. I was on the field on defense, third or fourth quarter. I took a knee on the field while I was receiving the play call from the sideline because as a linebacker, I called the plays or received the plays, told my team. I took a knee. My coach ripped into me. He said, if you ever take a fucking knee on the football field again, I will sit your ass, blah, 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 blah. Personally, I think that's some weak ass shit. Because I would have been like, take me off the fucking punt
you are
team.
weak.
Take me off the fucking punt team. He had me doing shit I didn't need to be doing.
Hey, real quick, because of the fact I had a kid on my team that did that. In my high school, we were a small town. I came from a much smaller town than what you come from, right? We had to share lockers, not for football, but just in high school general life. You had locker partners, so you share a locker with somebody. And my locker partner, shout out my man Shane Hodge, he never left the field. He was so he was our tight end. He was the Willie linebacker. He was our kicker for kickoffs, and punts he was the other end. That would no, he could never keep up with me because I was way too fast. But I mean, like I was down there with the shooters, dude. That's how quick I was. I hit my guy once. My coaches knew, like CB's not gonna really block. He gonna touch him real quick, and he gonna go down and try and hit somebody. But he's the other end on the punt team. And to accommodate for my lack of blocking, you had to have another blocker on there, and he made the most sense. And he never took a knee, man.
Mm-hmm.
Pussy.
I mean,
I'm fucking with you.
I was gonna say, I think you summed it up. Your buddy clearly didn't fucking play his ass off like I did. Sounds like he took plays off.
Wow.
So I mean, I'm sorry that your teammates.
No,
I'm sorry your teammates didn't put it all out on the line for you like that. I would have done that for you.
I'm real quick on high school glory days conversation that we're having here, right?
No, my dick's bigger.
I remember like as a running back, even though I didn't run back like I did on teams or whatever, but I remember I was used to running through people. I tried to run through this guy. I hit the dude square in the fucking chest. All he did was stand there like this. I hit that motherfucker right in the chest with my fucking right there. Boom. Like, whoo. Bro. I fucking fell back. I got up. I looked at him, and he's sitting there going, I was like, man, this is some fucked up shit, man. I was pissed. All right, come on. Let's move on, man. Bills.
Thurman Thomas.
Who'd you have? Let's see here.
Thurman Thomas.
You have Thurman Thomas.
One of the best Tecmo Bowl super running backs ever. Right behind Bo Jackson.
So here's the reason why Thurman Thomas makes A, 4 fucking Super Bowls. B, he was there right before Barry Sanders in Oklahoma State. So think about that fucking college.
Yeah.
Thurman Thomas, and then you get Barry fucking Sanders, right? I don't know, like, and I remember like during those times the rushing records were between, and not to take anything away from Emmett, but the big 2 conversations in the NFL for me as a child growing up was Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders. And of course you see Thurman Thomas make it to 4 fucking Super Bowls. You're bound to be like, man, this guy's pretty fucking special. And then, of course, I chose Bruce Smith as my other favorite Bill. I said that Lawrence Taylor was something to watch. I think at the defensive ends position, that he was something to watch as well. So, let's see here. What about you? I mean, wait a minute. Where are we at? Bills, yeah. What do you got there?
Thurman Thomas. I told you, Thurman Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, you got anything to say about him? Or are you just like, yo, he's the best Bill to ever fucking play?
Second best Tecmo Bowl player ever. That was literally why I put him. I don't have any favorite Bills. Hey, side note,
you're like,
bro, I'm still in the AFC East. What the fuck do you want from me?
I realize that. Hey, so hang tight.
I contemplated Buffalo Bills Marshawn Lynch.
Ooh, wow. Okay, I see you. Or Buffalo Bills Terrell Owens. Could you throw him up there?
T.O. was trash in Buffalo.
Terrell was never trash. Buffalo was trash.
Yeah. So T.O.'s numbers, those were the worst T.O. years. Who? CB or Channing? Who? Call them out. Call them out for everybody.
All right, hey. You want to say hi to the listeners? All right, hold on.
Oh,
I gotta say hi to Clay. Just say hi to Clay. Don't worry about the listener.
Hello.
We gotta get.
yeah, you better sound more excited when you say hello to me, son.
Speak up. You on?
Hello.
That's what I'm talking about. You
Listen.
keeping up, bro? You still practicing your sports even during quarantine?
Yep.
That's what I like to hear, man. Keep it up. Your dad's got nothing but good things to say about you. That's what I like to hear.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and also, hey, Dad's mom.
Mom. Hey.
Mom. Mom told me
To tell you, you better wash your funky ass.
No, I cleaned your car. Okay?
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, and you pay me $2.
I gotta pay you $2?
Yes, $2.
Well,
Because
that's
Mom's
that's
paying
child
me
labor.
$8.
That is.
Yeah, so I'm putting
$2?
Yes, I'm gonna put the half of my money in my game, and then I'm gonna leave the rest to my wallet.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. All right.
Okay.
Much love. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for saying hello to Clay. He misses you.
Yep.
Now get the fuck out of here. I love you, buddy.
Oh, fuck.
All right. Let's see here.
Don't your
Chiefs. What's that?
Chiefs. Tyreek Hill. While we're on topic. Shot! Give him some of those.
1 inch. 1 inch away. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had a t-shirt. Now I'm getting all hot and bothered over here in the goddamn long sleeve. Got whiskey in me. I got fucking kids yelling at me, telling me they miss me on some bullshit.
Yeah.
It would be odd to hear what I had to say to him. Because you don't even know what I said, did you?
I missed it. Nah.
Mm-hmm. Because you didn't have your headphones on.
I know, because I gave him away so you could hear. So who'd you put? You put Priest Holmes. Great choice.
He's a beast. 99 overall in Madden. Whatever year he was fucking legit.
Video games.
I think. Yeah, it was like 05. Madden 05 or something like that.
Right.
You got Derek Thomas, legendary linebacker, and some tight end I've never heard of, Tony Gonzalez. Big dude, right?
Yeah,
Big tight end.
this is a big guy, right? This is a big guy.
He's up there in receiving yards. I don't remember where he stacks, but yeah, he's up there.
That's the reason why I was like disgusted by your I don't know, he's just a big guy, right? Like, those guys made the most sense to me. Disappointed that I couldn't fit Joe Montana on the list, but I think he gets on enough lists. So, oh fuck, somebody just picked Baker Mayfield. He's gonna be my fucking next round pick. I did just because he got Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham though too.
Juice.
He's gonna get up.
He's gonna
get up.
Are you up? Is it your turn?
No, I don't have I probably won't have a pick till tomorrow. Or late tonight. Let's see here. Broncos. John Elway. Don't I have didn't I put 2? I only put 1. I meant to put
Marino baby. Marino over Elway all day. John Elway.
Yeah.
Talk about a winner. That's a winner. And
yeah, I
go ahead.
And my older brother was a big John Elway fan, so he definitely hit the memory bank as far as like why he might be one of my favorites. So
Stanford Golden Boy. He went to Stanford, right?
I feel like that's where he went to.
Yeah, I know he was in Cali. Pretty sure it was Stanford. I have for the Broncos, I got Von Miller. A little more recent, but he's a whole nother beast on that end, dude, when it comes to pass rushing. Classy dude too, man. I like his off-field presence. Big fan. Thought about Champ Bailey.
I'm trying to figure out who it was I was thinking of. Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis?
Terrell Davis,
That
sorry.
one is Terrell. I know that one for a fact.
Yeah. I
Hey,
know.
You know my for real, who I almost put as my number 2? Ed McCaffrey. Christian's dad. The reason, so back when my dad played fantasy football, back when you had to call your commissioner, leave a voicemail for your lineup before Thursday night football, he would call up his lineup, and he drafted Ed McCaffrey probably 2 or 3 seasons in a row. And every time he watched Bronco games, bro, he'd be like, Eddie! And he'd be cheering on Ed McCaffrey every time the Broncos. And when you got John Elway and you're winning Super Bowls, of course the Broncos, they're like the Patriots, bro. They're always on TV.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when we watching TV on fucking CBS all day, every day. Now, woo, let's go. But anyways, so yeah, we both have the same guy for the Raiders.
Balls Jackson. Bo Jackson? Do you have Bo Jackson?
I do not, but we both have Charles Woodson.
Woodson.
The only U of M player that I will give credit for and not discredit him. That dude is legend. I mean, same as Tom Brady. I mean, I don't like him. He
smoked. First off, he created the tuck rule.
He did create the tuck.
Secondly, he was also a beast and fuck. He wasn't just a beast in Los Angeles or Oakland, whatever. You know, the Raiders, Las Vegas. But he was a beast in fucking Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And what many would say is your latter years, you know what I mean? He was still a fucking shutdown then. So Charles Woodson, I don't know what to say about him when it comes to this.
Did he go from Oakland to Green Bay back to Oakland?
I believe he did go back to Oakland just to finish out, his career and then really end in Oakland.
Yeah.
So
Oakland 98 to 05, Packers 06 to 12, Oakland 13 to 15. I thought so.
Let's see here. I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, there's a lot of players that you could have chosen. I mean, you could have chose a Howie Long. You know what I mean? I guess maybe not a lot of players, but I mean,
sure.
There's
you
could choose John Madden.
A lot of older players.
Yeah,
the Raiders you could have chosen John Madden. Dude, were just next level.
Romanowski.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, when I look at it, and looking at my favorite of all time, Bo Jackson, definly tops that
Tim
list,
Brown,
and then of course Charles Woodson,
as you mentioned earlier.
Tim Brown, that I apparently wanted to put with fucking Cleveland. And then finally, we had the Chargers. You chose LT LaDainian Tomlinson.
LaDainian Tomlinson, one of my favorite running backs of all time. Once again, tinted visor. Broke the touchdown record one season. Like, he was fast, he was powerful. Like I'm not gonna, because I think LT Lawrence Taylor, LaDainian Tomlinson,
but he was a beast. LT.2.
2.0.
LT squared. LT squared.
LaDainian Tomlinson was a beast, bro. And unfortunately, he made the poor decision of going to the Jets in the latter years of his career. But LaDainian Tomlinson,
at that point, he was going for that Jets team was a team that looked like they were on the rise. That was after Sanchez just got done, making a good play into the playoffs, had a great year. Mark Sanchez, for those of you who don't know. So, let's see here. I think that was the last one. I chose. Yeah. I just think that, rest in peace. Thank you. I just think that at the end of the day, when I think of the Chargers, he's the first name that I'll always think of. He just, I don't know, like, he was the reason why. What year was it? 90 something that they went to the Super Bowl, and I feel like he was the reason why they went. You know what I mean? Like, he was a beast. And then, of course,
I almost put Sean Merriman. I was
Tom
a Sean
Merriman would have been
Yeah.
great. Oh,
He just
Antonio
wasn't a
Gates.
favorite. He just wasn't a favorite. Wow.
Yeah,
How did I forget about Antonio Gates?
yeah.
Great
I
tight end.
mean, so,
Big guy. Big guy.
big, just a big guy, a little athletic. I don't know.
He ain't no Jeremy Shockey, but
No, Jeremy Shockey.
no,
but-
he's definitely better than Jeremy Shockey. Antonio
What's
Gates.
crazy is Tony Gonzalez is better than fucking Jeremy Shockey.
Oh no, I told you. I said Tony Gonzalez is probably number 1 all-time greatest tight end.
Yeah. Oh.
Who's better,
So-
Mike Ditka or Tony Gonzalez?
That guy.
Ditka.
Oh. Well,
Hey,
guys.
CB,
Hey, I'm gonna
CB,
be honest.
Before we go,
What-
who'd win in a fight, Ditka or God? That's a
I
trick
mean,
question,
God-
CB. Ditka is God.
Ah.
Job, Bear.
Oh. Well, hey guys, I hope like unimpromptu of a list that came off of the internet, but this is what you're gonna get.
Welcome to COVID-19 quarantine, guys. This is the content you get.
Hashtag Proficient COVID.
Tune in next week for our favorite NBA players of all time.
No, you don't understand. Like during this, like fucking the second one, I'm like, we should just do NBA.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna probably do a social media list after this podcast.
You know,
Why would I not? Why would I not?
Here's the thing, guys. I hope that you want to listen in. I can't listen to this as you fucking. I gotta use words. You gotta type.
Would you close the pod so you can talk to your child? Hey guys,
All right.
we appreciate
Hey,
you
guys,
guys tuning in.
Thank you again for joining us for episode number 78. We're out.
My name is
Peace.
CB Watkins, and with me is
Clay Hagrid.
hey,
Oh,
real talk.
Shit.
Hey,
Oh shit. Hey,
What?
I want you to. We're gonna have to announce. Apparently, my fucking video, my sound just stopped at. Hold on. It just stopped just 2 seconds ago.
that is amateur.
All right, I'm just gonna note it up that we
All right,
fucking
guys.
ended.
So if this sounds awkward, CB sound cut out. I'm the only one currently being recorded, so I can say whatever I want now. Thank you for listening.
Oh, I'm here.
Episode
Can you hear me?
God damn it! Anyways,
I was just talking
episode-
about the audio for the pod.
episode
Stop.
78. Now,
Sorry.
quarantine. I am going to personally ask anyone listening to please reshare this. I don't care if you do it on Instagram. I don't care if you text it to a friend. I don't care how you post it. Help a brother out. Help a brothers out. Share this. Let this reach get out there. Even if you didn't think this was our best episode, there are people out there who may find enjoyment in this, and we want to make sure we spread that as best we can. Go ahead, CB. I know you like outros. Do your thing.
I love outros. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.
Take care.